The way he angles his body, where he puts all of his body weight on his left hand and just extends just enough to just scrape the pylon. Those are the plays that decide Super Bowls. That's why every single time, I always talk about it, guys, at the beginning of the season, if the team is just good enough around Patrick Mahomes, I'm going to pick the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. That isn't something that should just be done every week. No one in the history of football makes plays like this every week outside of Patrick Mahomes.
I want to thank all the talking heads and all the doubt. Yep. Keep it coming. Like, all it does is anytime you can give petty Mahomes the motivation, bro, I'm all for it. That's why I was excited when, you know, all these people were saying these things. It's like, bro, let's go.
Yeah.
If I'm feeling boosted and juiced by it, can you imagine what he's feeling?
I would not be shocked if the Chiefs got blown out. I can see that happen.
I can see the Chiefs having a game in which a lot of frustrating drops, some pressure. I don't think Mahomes likes his offensive tackles this year. I can see Buffalo at home. They take a lead. Kansas City, some drops, gets frustrated. Josh Allen does what he does. I do not see Kansas City blowing out Buffalo.
I don't either. Kansas City can't blow out anyone. In that Miami game was kind of still dicey there in the second half.
Yeah.
Chiefs and Bills.
I like Buffalo. I think this is the weakest version of the Chiefs in several years. The Bills are on a 6-game winning streak, and it started by beating Kansas City in Kansas City. Also, they're 7-1 since they fired Ken Dorsey. They're 6-1 against playoff teams. Baltimore and Buffalo, they beat the good teams often soundly. 16 straight games, Josh Allen, with multiple touchdowns. He's a unicorn. The Chiefs, folks, they're averaging 21 a game over their last 11 games. That's what they are. Rashee Rice is a low-end number 1 receiver. They don't have a 2 or a 3. This offense, every metric tells you it's the worst Kansas City offense. First time they're on the road. I think Buffalo's going to win it. I think it's lower scoring than you think, despite having the great quarterbacks. 24-20, Buffalo wins the game.
So here's his playoff game last week. Here's what it was in all the Super Bowl years. 56 completion percentage. Look at the other numbers. Look at his TD percentage.
It was cold.
2.4, 7, 9, 8.9. His passer rating, 63.6. 114, 118, or 83.6, I'm sorry, as opposed to 114, 118, 111.5. So you're on the road because of you. Everything is lined up. You've got the supporting cast. And now, if you're the greatest of all time, as Nick claims you are, it's time for you to be the greatest of all time.
I think there's a good chance he outplays him. I think he will outplay him because I think they'll get the win. Little hint.
Yeah, okay. It's not much of a hint.
Yeah, you just said it.
Is that your official pick?
Bill.
Checking in at number 7 based on this season's stats, Patrick Mahomes. He's having the worst year of his career.
I am mustering as much bass as possible in my voice.
Doesn't sound like it, but
I am saying this with full confidence, full-throated.
Okay.
Bills, Bills, Bills.
Oh, it's like a Destiny's Child.
I mean,
that's right. The Bills will end Kansas City's season this week.
Sunday nights, they're going to have a new thing in common. Revenge. Taylor, get out your cup of tea and your journal and take notes on exacting revenge, because this is going to be the Bills' reputation album, only theirs is actually going to lead to a trophy. The Eras Tour will continue. The Chiefs' era is over. Mafia, you got a long list of Bills losers, but this team's going to the title game. There's a blank space in Baltimore, baby, and he'll write your name. Bills 30, Chiefs 23. Night-night.
Night.
Night.
I feel you.
Y'all thought, man.
Y'all thought. It is the Chattin' Up the Chiefs post-game show. I'm your host, Lance Twidell, with my co-hosts, Trevor Twidell, and the one and only 9-year NFL veteran, Vaughn freaking Booker.
Let's go,
What
baby.
up, dude? What's happening? How we feeling tonight?
You know, Vaughn, I think I'm feeling kind of good tonight. I'm feeling kind of good tonight because and I don't know if you guys enjoyed that video as much as I did. And yes, I all week long put this video together, just collected receipts here and there, just to enjoy them a little bit, just for my own personal use. And then I decided on Thursday, you know what? I'm not a selfish guy. I like to, whatever I enjoy in life, I like for others to enjoy with me. I'm one of those like camaraderie guys. I'm a good teammate. I think Book and Trev would say that here. At least I would hope so. And I decided, you know what? Let's put a little compilation together, and let's have the people enjoy it. And for about 3 hours, I put together a little 4-minute video for everybody to enjoy because I was that confident the Chiefs are going to pull out this victory. Yes, it was unnecessarily stressful, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. But I want everybody right now, whether you have a stogie in your hand, whether you got a J in your hand, whether you got a drink in your hand, you got your family in your hands, whatever you got going on, whatever's in your hands, let's all just take a moment and enjoy and bask in the fact that the Chiefs are now 6 straight AFC Championship appearance motherfuckers. Let's do this.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Feels good.
It's a lovely thing. And yes, I feel that we are entitled to do this because I am not going to lie. Of all the years of the Mahomes era so far, this was by far the most stressful. Because this offense had so many issues. We've gone down this gauntlet so many times. This offense, this defense at times seemed like that they couldn't put full games together. It felt like this team couldn't play in unison. Even tonight, when the offense was clicking on all cylinders, the defense looked soft. Once the defense start making some stops in the second half, like they normally do, the offense started playing stupid. It just feels like this team could never just get on the same page. And yet here we are. Another AFC Championship game. Sure, it's different. It's not the AFC Invitational, the Arrowhead Invitational anymore. At least not this season. The Chiefs are going to have to go on the road. But the Chiefs have now shown that even when they don't play a very smart style of football, they still squeak out victories, even on the road, in a hostile environment when fans would rather throw snowballs than be respectful. The Chiefs went out there and got it done in Buffalo. Let's break this down. But first and foremost, Book, Trev, how the hell y'all feeling tonight? Let's start with Book.
How you doing, Book?
Oh, bro, I'm feeling good. You know what I'm saying? I choose to watch the game alone. I think everybody else is a jinx, so I don't even do that no more. I used to have cookouts and have a lot of people over, but yeah, it's getting too serious. It's either win or go home. So right now, I'm pulling out all the stops. I don't want nobody over here. I don't take no phone calls. I don't read no text messages, nothing until the game is completely over. But yeah, I feel good. I know I'm gonna sleep real good tonight.
That's what I like to hear. What about you, Trev?
I mean, bro, I'm on top of the world, man. That game was way too close for my comfort. We should have won easy. We should have won by at least 10, in my opinion. But once again, we put our sons to bed. I wish we could have put them to bed a little early. They stayed up a little past curfew, but it is what it is. Got the dub, baby.
They in fact got the dub, and that is what we're going to talk about because that's the most important part. I want to start this off by saying that I love the fact that Patrick Mahomes in games like this, when he gets the turtleneck going, you can see that he's like just can't wait to get on the field, him and Kels, which, by the way, both of them just became the greatest postseason duo in the history of the NFL with 16 touchdowns between them, surpassing Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski, who had 15 when the Chiefs tied it earlier in the game, decided to overtake them, and now is the greatest duo, as I like to call them, the GOAT-to-GOAT connection. Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes putting themselves in the upper echelon, the upper lore. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Trevor told me earlier, Travis Kelce's only 4 touchdowns away in the postseason from tying Jerry Rice for the most all time. We're not talking about tight ends. We're talking about receivers. We're talking about everybody that's ever played a playoff game.
That's insane, bro.
Travis Kelce is putting himself as arguably the greatest postseason receiving option in the history of the NFL. And I know that we got Michelle Tafoya and what's his name, Mike Florio, trying to throw dirt, trying to put these men in the grave, saying A.D. Reed's about to retire, saying Travis Kelce about to retire. And Travis Kelce goes out there, has 75 yards and 2 touchdowns against a team that everybody was picking the Chiefs to lose to tonight. Said it was too hostile. Said that this is Josh Allen's turn. Well, last I checked, guys, it's now 0-3. Josh Allen can't beat his daddy when it matters the most. I know, yeah, they were 3-3 coming into tonight's game, but daddy knows best, and daddy's Patrick Mahomes. And so let's break this down for a second, guys. Because like I said, I really liked what I saw from the offense from the get-go. I felt like even though they kicked field goals on back-to-back opening drives, the fact that the Chiefs were moving the ball with succession, I knew they were going to knock it down eventually. Now, I don't like the fact they're ending with 7 on the other end, not where it's ending in 7 points, but ending with 7 as in Butker. That's something that drives me nuts. But the fact they were putting points on the board, they were trading blows with the Bills, was something that I was able to live with because I knew that eventually they were going to crack it open. We saw guys open all over the field. Eventually, Patrick was going to find him. That's eventually what took place. You saw Patrick Mahomes have such an efficient game tonight, going 17 of 23. That's 74% of his passes completed. He only had 215 yards, but there were so many big chunk plays and great run game tonight. I mean, the Chiefs had over 140 rushing yards tonight. So you don't have to throw a ton of yards in the air when you're getting success like they did through Isaiah Pacheco with 15 rushes, 97 yards, and a touchdown. This man was averaging 6.5 yards a carry tonight. Isaiah Pacheco was a goddamn madman tonight. He was a madman, and I loved every second of it. Pacheco showed that he is probably right now, as it stands, arguably the best draft pick that Brett Veach has made. At least he's in the conversation, and he was a 7th-round pick. This was a flyer pick. This is a guy that normal occasions doesn't make a roster. And he's out here one of the 5 to 10 best running backs in the league right now. And he took this game by storm. He was aggressive. He was efficient. He hit the holes. Even with Joe Tooney going out with an injury, with a chest injury. Even with all these injuries all over the place, Pacheco stayed steady, man. It was not too big for him because he already has that Super Bowl prowess. With multiple injuries last year in the Super Bowl, still going up there making an impact. This man knows what to do. He might be a second-year player. He's got 5th-year knowledge. He's got 6-year knowledge, man. This guy knows what he's doing out there, and he complimented Patrick Mahomes. But again, Patrick Mahomes averaging 9 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers, with a 132 quarterback rating. You know, people, like I said, you saw in the video of Eric Mangini, that nasally bastard up there, talking about how Patrick Mahomes struggled last week, even though, by the way, he put the best numbers up in the history of the playoffs in sub-zero temperatures. That was the greatest game any quarterback has ever had in sub-zero temperatures. So suck it, Eric Mangini.
Hey, you want a stat real quick?
Throw it out there.
Our guy John Harrison. I'm gonna put it back on the show here real quick. Mahomes passed Marino in 9th in playoff yardage and passed Breeze into 6th in TDs with 38. He gets 2 next week and he'll tie Peyton Manning.
Hey, real quick, guys. How old is Patrick Mahomes?
That's what I'm saying.
28 years old.
That's
Man turned
nuts.
28 in September. This man is just entering his prime years of his life. He's got another 6-7 years of prime football coming up. I hope you guys are ready because this man's rewriting the books. And I know we sound hyperbolic here, but see, we've had to sit here. And, Book, I know you know what I'm talking about. Trevor, you definitely know what I'm talking about because you have to stay with me all the time, bro. You know I don't shut up about this shit.
Unfortunately.
We've heard people talk about how the Bills, it's their time for how many years now? About how it's Josh Allen that's going to take down Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs year after year after year. And I think it's poetic justice that the Chiefs went into Orchard Park and served him an L. Because everybody talked about, hey, man, you know, Patrick gets him an Arrowhead all the time. He ain't come up there to Bills Mafia. He ain't dealt with the guys that, you know, fold themselves through, you know, tables.
Hey, just score 30.
Yeah, just score 30, you beat the Chiefs. Just score 30, even though no one's done it in the last 35 games, or one time in the last 35 games, and it happened to be the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah, see, this is what we're talking about here. I'm feeling this right now because it feels really good for the Chiefs to go up there and shut people down, shut people up, and I just wanted to address that first and foremost. Having said all that, we need to have an honest conversation here because I ain't going to lie to you. As good as it feels that the Chiefs got this dub, and boy, it feels good because now we get to sit here and we get to bask in the fact that the Chiefs are going to be another AFC championship, and I can't wait to talk about that Ravens matchup. But this game was unnecessarily stressful.
Right.
Let's be honest here, Book. And I know this is going to hit you home. This is why I want to get your take on this. The front seven for the defense was soft as hell tonight.
Boy,
Chris Jones Bro, Chris Jones had all this energy with the fans, and I get it. You want to get yourself pumped up. The fans are probably saying some really terrible shit to you. And I get it. You're warming up. You want to get yourself riled up. You get your teammates riled up. You're talking, man. That's what it's all about. But after that happened, I felt like Chris Jones disappeared. He's on the sidelines on half the snap counts. Willie Gay re-injured his neck. He's out for the game. You're seeing McDuffie get banged up. Joshua Williams get banged up. Like, you're all of a sudden starting to see this defense look pretty mortal. And all season long, they've looked like a bunch of immortals. Second best scoring defense in the league. And they're getting shoved around. Now, look, all respect to the Bills. They have maybe the most mobile, outside of Lamar Jackson, the most mobily dominant quarterback in the league on Josh Allen. So I get it. He's a damn good quarterback. He's going to do his thing here and there. But it looked easy. It didn't look like Josh Allen and James Cook were really having to fight for things. It didn't really look like they missed Gabe Davis at all. It looked like an offense, they were just able to do what they were doing. They were doing simple concepts, time after time after time after time. And the defense just looked lost. Now, I was willing to live with it because I did say during halftime, the Chiefs are going to still win this game. They're going to find a way because I believe in Spagnuolo. Because if you look, like I showed you guys last week, over these last 5-6 games, the Chiefs shut people down in the second half. And that's exactly what they did. The defense started to get stops. And I said, if they just get one stop here, I think the Chiefs are going to win this game. Drew Tranquill maybe had the play of the game on that second and 2 on the Bills' 44-yard line. Sound like Shaggy Shane now. And he gets a 3-yard tackle for loss. And that was maybe the play of the game. And then they try to do that stupid-ass fake punt. And the Chiefs have momentum. And again, to swing over to the offensive side of things, not to get too ahead of myself, the Chiefs were clicking on all cylinders. And you think, man, you have a short field. Bills just made a horrible penalty or a horrible decision. It's time. The Chiefs can punch us in. They go up 34-24 with 6-7 minutes left. They can win this game. And what happens? The Chiefs get down to the 4-yard line because Isaiah Pacheco has that big run down the left side of the field, the left sideline, gets down to about the 4-yard line. And Andy Reid, instead of just doing what's been working all night, instead of just deciding, you know what, Pacheco's been carrying us all night, Patrick Mahomes has been doing his thing all night, finding Travis Kelce, finding Noah Gray, finding MVS. Bro. MVS out here making deep catches. Who the hell was wearing that 11 jersey tonight? Where's that guy been all season?
Never doubted him, bro.
My God. Biggest fan here, TBH. Biggest fan. Biggest fan, TBH. Never doubted him for a second. Thank you for saying that, Trevor. And then instead of just going with what's been working, like I say, instead of throwing on Marvin Gaye on the old vinyl, they're playing some BTS. And here's Andy Reid drawing up this Globetrotter play from 1961, this double fake reverse to McCole Hardman, who I love. But the only touch he had previous to this touch was a fumble. And guess what McCole does on this play? He fumbles it in the back of the end zone. Instead of it being a 10-point game, it's still a 3-point game. And Josh Allen, the Bills have new life, and they're about to drive down the field. This game was only close because of Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo.
Yep.
I'm not going to sit here and say that Steve Spagnuolo didn't have it against him because of the fact he's going up against a very good, damn near elite quarterback in Josh Allen without Willie Gay for most of this game. But you still have dogs out there. And these guys at times look very soft tonight. And it was really pissing me off to see this defense choose to look this bad in the biggest moments of the biggest game for large portions of this game. L'Jarius Sneed, we've been giving him nothing but praise all season about how he's given up 0 touchdowns, decides to give it up to a wide receiver 4 tonight for the first time all season. These were things that were really starting to worry me a little bit. But I knew that if Patrick Mahomes and these guys could just do enough in the second half, they're going to get this victory. And I love the fact that on their first drive of the second half, what'd they do? They go and punched it in the end zone, man.
5 plays.
5 plays, 5-6 plays, yeah. There's efficient football tonight from the offense. But outside of this one boneheaded decision for Andy Reid, not to mention the fact he decided not to challenge that pass that was a forward pass from Josh Allen beyond the line of scrimmage. I wish that Andy Reid would have challenged that earlier in the game because that would have taken away 3 points and the Chiefs could have won this game by a full possession. So regardless, that's how I feel tonight. I feel like the Chiefs helped the Bills a lot tonight to keep this game closer than it should have been. The defense, like I said, came out pretty lifeless. Looked like they couldn't handle the simplest of simple things on the offensive side for the Bills. And the offense, when they really just needed to put the clamps down and just score one more touchdown, Andy decides to get cute once again. This team has had nothing but red zone problems all season. They've had problems to score all season. Why would you make it harder on your guys? Why would you go and try to make it difficult? Just go with what's been working and just put this game to bed. It was unnecessarily stressful because the Chiefs, at the end of the game, you really think about it, They were the best team tonight. Sure, Josh Allen had a couple of really big runs. James Cook had a couple really big runs. But, man, that Bills defense looked awful tonight. The Chiefs were doing whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted to offensively. And I just wish that the Chiefs would have just put the stamp on it earlier so it didn't have to be so stressful at the end of the game where Tyler Bass had to miss a field goal, shank it wide right. And then all of a sudden we're sitting here talking about this victory just by the skin of their teeth.
Yep.
This is not what they can be doing in the AFC Championship. Not to get ahead of ourselves, but the Chiefs can't be doing that against a team like the Ravens because they don't have deficiencies at defense. In fact, that's their ultimate strength, even more than Lamar Jackson, because what beat the Texans was that Ravens defense. Not Lamar. Lamar had a great game, but that defense set the precedent. The Chiefs can't be making mistakes like that on the offensive side. So, Book, I want to start with you, brother, on the defensive side of things. How did you see things going? Why did it seem like they came out so flat, so lifeless when this is a game where you got to come out there and show them who's boss? Why you're the second best defense in the entire NFL, man? What was that all about? What were you seeing, man?
I saw what everybody saw. We started the game off slow like we usually do. This time was just more prevalent because Buffalo was just running the ball whenever they wanted to and gashing us for like 8 or 9 yards a pop. I thought our defensive line played a lot high this game. Let those guys get up under the shoulder pass and they were getting moved off the ball. So when you play like that, you're gonna give up a lot of yards rushing. So I think in the second half they tightened it up a little bit, got a couple of stops, and that's when I thought we definitely was gonna win the game. So when Mahomes out there, our offense playing the way that they did, I was just happy to see it. Our receivers finally catching balls, making plays for us other than just having Kelsey and Pacheco doing their thing, which they did. But going back to our defense, if we play like that next week, it's not gonna be pretty. And I think it's gonna come down to both defenses playing well next week. And I think that's gonna be the difference. But if we play like we did today and start off slow and wait till the second half, man, that score gonna be all out of reach for us, regardless of what our offense is gonna do. Because they're gonna use up a lot of clock and they're gonna keep running the ball. And we tackle too high and we catching tackles. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of stuff that pissed me off. I'm like, we're in the NFL. Go for the knees. Put them feet together. Stop their forward progress. I mean, we catching them and throwing them forward. That's crazy as hell to me. So that's how I felt about our defense. I'm glad we did bend, but we didn't break. We needed just enough, to win this game. I'm still happy with the performance overall, but we can't start next week like that, though. It's going to get out of hand real quick.
Couldn't agree more. I do want to get something off my chest to Bills fans real quick. You guys are going to throw snowballs at us and then cry in the stands? Right. That's what we're going to do? You guys are lame, bro.
He was sobbing.
Let's be real right now. All that shit talk leading up to this game. You're the hottest team in the league. Josh Allen's better than Mahomes. You never faced a team on the road. You never played us here. You can't beat us here. The chatter between the fans and the locker room. All the talk. I don't want to hear it. You can't throw snowballs when you're up and then cry in the stands when we tear your heart out again. This time in your backyard. It's done. It's done. You're our sons, bro. You are straight up our sons. I don't want to hear anything else moving forward. This whole thing is dead. No more. This might be the last time we see them because honestly, this whole situation with Diggs, Allen, the whole coaching regime, this might be the end of that run. We may not see them again. It's probably going to be the Bengals. Hell, I'm going to say it's probably the Texans moving forward, honestly. I think the Texans and C.J. Stroud are the biggest threat to us moving forward. Because what I see out of that kid is he has something that Josh Allen doesn't have, if I'm being real. So I just want to dead that whole situation with the Bills fans. You're going to throw snowballs and then bawl your eyes out like some babies in the stands when we beat you in your own house. It's over. It's done. Bye.
Well, and to that point, let's just talk about that for a second. Because, I usually don't acknowledge opposing fans because I get them in my mentions all the time, and I've had death threats, I've had all kinds of weird ass stuff in my DMs and in comments. I've learned to live with it. It's okay. But that's the thing that Trevor just hit on the head right there, is that I think what happened is the Bills, like a lot of other teams that the Chiefs have broken in the past, like the Eagles, like the Bengals, like other teams like that, once they've beaten them in the playoffs, you see your own mortality. And we know that no team in the history of the NFL after year 5 with a head coach and quarterback duo, if they have not won a Super Bowl together by year 5, they don't, period.
This is our down year.
And this is now year 6.
They could beat us on our down year, bro.
Yes, this was their one real chance.
At their house.
The one real chance. You could say 2021 as well because that Bills team had the number 1 ranked defense. Josh Allen was a real legitimate MVP candidate that year. They had the Chiefs on the ropes with 13 seconds left. The Chiefs still got it done. You think, okay, maybe they regroup 2022. Couldn't even get to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship because they get their cheeks clapped in their house in the divisional round against the Bengals. And now here we are again. Orchard Park. Everyone say it's different this time.
It's your house.
Patrick Mahomes went in there and served an L. Hot. We had Jason Kelsey up there in the suite taking off his shirt because it's hot.
Bro, how you gonna let MVS catch 2 third-down balls on you? How you gonna let that happen? How you gonna let him look like he's a football player out there? That's crazy. Throwing snowballs and then crying. The hell out of here, bro. Anyways, we started out slow, of course. Settled for 2 field goals right off the bat. Should have been touchdowns. I agree. This game should not have been this close, bro. It really should not have been. Our offense was amazing as far as in between the 20s. Patrick Mahomes was amazing, super efficient. We continue, and it's infuriating to me, bro. We continue to go away from the run. Yeah. Pacheco is one of the best running backs in football right now.
Yes.
Honestly, he should be better than what his statistics are this year. That dude should have easily 1,200, 1,300 yards rushing this year because we continued and grit it. I get it. Patrick Mahomes, you don't want to take the ball away from him. We're never going to be a run-first offense when you have Patrick Mahomes. But, man, getting cute down there with McCole Hardman on a reverse jet sweep, a fake to Rashee Rice reverse jet sweep. It made no sense. That was what, second down, right?
Yeah.
First down. First down on the 3-yard line. After Pop just had a 25, 23-yard run to get us there. And then we get cute. That cannot happen against the Ravens. If we make mistakes like that against the Ravens, we think the Bills can run. My God, it's the number 1 rushing offense in the NFL. Yeah. And arguably the best defense in the NFL. So, I mean, that formula is not going to work. I will say, though, man, I loved the awareness of our defense on that fake punt that the Bills try to pull. We shut that shit down. I love that. That's tough because a lot of teams, that would catch you off guard.
Right.
It was a ballsy call. I'll give it to them. It was a ballsy call. They needed that play, and we took it from them. The defense stepped up big time in the second half, only allowed 7 points. Once again, our second half defense is incredible. We were still getting gashed in the run, but when it mattered most and we needed to stop, they got him off the field. And, yeah, man, so just kudos to the defense and kudos to them making up, for the mistakes and the absolute just blunders on tackles in the first half. I mean, McDuffie missing tackles, Justin Reed missing tackles, guys getting burnt in coverage over the middle. But overall, man, this offense was very efficient. I think Patrick Mahomes was sharp as hell. Travis Kelce absolutely just had a dog day. Pacheco, man, feed that man. Clyde had a 20 or it was like an 18, 20-yard run.
Yep.
Good to see that. But McCole, the Butterfingers, man, we can't have that. We just can't have that.
And Book, I want to get your thoughts on this as well, but I'm going to add this little part of it as well, because to what Trevor's saying, I agree with completely, because I don't think what you're saying is the Chiefs just go away from the run, period. It's when they get into the red zone when you should be running more than ever, because
in the second half, though, in particular, the second half.
But for the whole game, check this out. Patrick Mahomes had 23 pass attempts. The Chiefs ran the ball 24 times.
Sure.
So they ran the ball, but and I will give the Bills credit.
They had long possessions.
The Bills limited the Chiefs' possessions.
Right.
They ran the ball so much that they really shortened the game, limited the possessions, which is a smart thing to do. But when you have a guy like Pacheco running the way he does, it doesn't usually matter because, again, the Chiefs only punted, once tonight? And they had the turnover in the red zone. So this is the thing we're talking about. Andy cannot keep doing this. That's why I tweeted this out. I said, Andy is one of the all-time great coaches. There is no debating that. He might finish as the greatest coach we've ever seen when it's all said and done, because no, he's not retiring. But my point is, that's why these things drive me so crazy, because yes, McCole needs to hold on to the ball, but Andy's got to stop putting fringe players into those situations. That's why we were getting so pissed all season long, because there wasn't enough proven commodities for Patrick to throw the ball to this season, and those guys kept dropping the ball because they're not good enough. Andy Reid and Brett Veach were putting these guys in positions they didn't belong in. And McCole, as much as I love him, he's not a guy you want to be relying on in big moments like that essentially would seal the game up. If the Chiefs score a touchdown on that drive, that game is over. The Bills would have a few minutes left to score a touchdown to still be down a possession.
Yeah.
So the point is, you got to get out of your own way, especially when you're having, for the first time in a long time. I mean, I know the Dolphins game, they played pretty well offensively, but this was one of their best, most efficient offensive games in over a month.
Yeah.
So when that's happening, stay out of the way.
Yeah.
Go with what's working. Don't try to get so damn cute.
Especially with the way our offensive line was playing. Our offensive line was great tonight. I know there was a penalty on Juwan Taylor. Was there a penalty on Juwan Taylor? Maybe not. I don't remember. I thought we only had 2 penalties tonight.
Book just said it. What'd you say, Book?
I think
Did he have one?
Smith, the other tackle.
Oh yeah.
Donovan?
It was Donovan. That's right. Yeah, Juwan Taylor had a clean game,
Yes.
right? Thanks, Book, for chewing him out. Maybe he heard you, bro. I don't know. But listen, our offensive line played great. They were open. They had holes for Pacheco to run through all night. Why would you go away from that? You know what I mean? That sets up the play action for Pat. That only makes Pat more comfortable. And Pat's jersey was clean all night. You know what I mean? No sacks. There's a few pressures in there, but man, Pat, you give Pat time. You get that running game going. We should have won by more tonight, bro. We should have put them to bed early. But a dub is a dub. Clean up some of those mistakes. I'm glad we didn't have any real turnovers. I mean, I know that was technically a turnover, the fumble in the back of the end zone. But yeah, we tried to beat ourselves a couple times, but we overcame it. And this defense came up big down that stretch in the run and the missed field goal. Call it luck, call it whatever you want. We still had time to go win that game, though.
Midway through the third quarter, the Chiefs at one point had 5 plays of 20 or more yards, which are considered explosive plays. Patrick Mahomes had 4 incompletions. Like, this was the most efficient, and it's no coincidence that when it's playoff time, because what does Pat Sr. always say? Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. That is who Patrick Mahomes is. So, Book, I want to get your thoughts on this, man. I mean, the blueprint's out, and I don't think the Chiefs need to change it at all, even though they're going against a juggernaut in a week's time against this Ravens defense. I don't think they need to change it at all. I think they need to continue to run the ball, commit to it early in the game, let this big physical offensive line get out there and do it. Hopefully Joe Thuney's okay, because he's a very pivotal piece to this offensive line. But let's say Joe Thuney plays next week, which I'm assuming he will. You continue to utilize Pacheco in that, set up the play action, because you saw guys like Noah Gray, who had 3 targets, 3 receptions for 16 yards. Ain't big, but it makes the defense have to respect those play action plays. We saw Patrick aiming for him early. We saw MVS getting some big catches. Holy shit, you get some hands, and all of a sudden this guy's an effective player in this offense, was averaging 31 yards per reception. That's all they need from him. So commit to this run. Doesn't matter who you're facing, because in my opinion, the only people that can stop this offense is the play calling. Because if this offense is playing like this, which, by the way, in 2 playoff games this season, are outscoring their opponents, even though the Bills had 24 tonight, which is a lot for this defense to their own standard, the Chiefs are outscoring their opponents 53-31. So they've technically had 2 blowouts by averages. So commit to what you're doing. Don't change things. Don't overthink things. You have a team that's built a certain way. You've now understood you're not a high-flying, high-octane offense. This isn't the Tyreek Hill era right now. Maybe it will be next year or the years after that. But right now, this is a defense, run offense with Patrick Mahomes making magical plays in the air when he needs to. Book, do you see it that same way?
I absolutely do. I don't know why we would ever get away from the run when we running the ball as well as Pacheco did today.
Right.
It opened up so many other avenues, but when you're gashing them, just like their offense were doing to our defense, but we getting our 8 or 9 yards right back in retribution. So we got to stick to what's winning for us. You know, those young guys, they starting to catch the ball. That was great to see. When I saw MVS come down, first he hit it with just one hand. I'm like, oh, Lord, here we go. He dragged it in. So I was happy to see that. I think we just got to stick to our guns, stay with what's working. Don't try to get too cute on these plays like we normally do. Sometimes they turn out to be great plays, but when they don't work, you look like you done went to the well too many times. You know what I'm saying? So let's just stick to what's getting us down the field. And like you said, Patrick's going to pick and choose when the moment is right for him to, you know, take that chance downfield. And most of the time, he's going to be right on the money. So I agree with you. Stick with what guys say.
Yeah, 100%, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel that, and I think it's because of the fact that, you know, Andy Reid will forget more football than I'll ever know. I mean, this man's seen everything that there's ever been put on a football field. And this man is an absolute studier, a student of this game. He's like Goodwill Hunting for football.
Yep.
And I think sometimes guys like that overthink because they've seen so much and they anticipate. You remember the scene from The Waterboy when Henry Winkler is in there and Adam Sandler first sees him, and he's like, no, they fake the fake. No, they pretend to fake. They don't fake at all. I don't know where I am. And he's like, he just freaks himself out. I think that sometimes guys that are so intelligent, that know the game so well, can do that to themselves, where they almost like give themselves the yips. It's like a self-inflicted wound. And Andy, if he just stays out of the way, man, this is a 34-24 victory. Not that it matters in the grand scheme of a dub's a dub.
Yeah.
But for it to be to where the Bills could have potentially either tied or won that game at the end when it was so unnecessary is what just drives me crazy about this team, man. So, Trev, real quick, man, I'm sure there's some thoughts on the chat, man. Let's get some takes here, man, because I know there's people out there that want to have their voices and names heard, man. What are they saying in the chat?
First of all, elite comment from John Harrison. He says, tackling fuel.
Yeah.
So I wanted to put that one on there. But I mean, I've been putting everybody's comments on the screen.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to get everybody's voices and everybody's words on the screen so they can be seen. But a lot of people, some people are saying, Lance, when are you ever going to be happy? Listen, guys, the point of this show is obviously to celebrate and enjoy this night as the players are in the locker room. But also, I think Book knows as a player too, you always got to look at not necessarily the negatives, but the shortcomings and what you could have done and what you left on the field. And what how much more we could have done to be even that much better. Because the Chiefs know, Patrick Mahomes knows, Andy Reid for damn sure knows we could have won this game, should have won this game by a lot more, as we've said ad nauseum on this show already. But I just kind of want to say it to some people saying that, we're never seem happy. There's a standard here, bro.
Let me respond to that in fairness, because I understand where people are coming from. But we all have to be honest here for a second about this game. This could have very well been a Bills win.
Yep.
Yes, we're smoking cigars here, guys. I just showed you a 4-minute clip of receipts I was holding on to. Clearly, I'm happy that the Chiefs are advancing. I love the fact they're in their 6th consecutive AFC championship. I love the fact that the Chiefs have a real shot of getting back to the Super Bowl and winning one. I really believe this team can do it.
Yeah.
We're not as invested in this if we didn't feel that way. Trust me when I say that. But there was a lot of meat left on the bone in this game, guys, and what I'm saying is, you don't want to keep giving opportunities to teams like that, because one night you're going to get had. There's going to be a team out there that will be your Huckleberry. And that's what we're looking at here. I'm not expecting perfection. I know that this is football, man. This is anybody knows that's booked. This is a game of a bunch of what ifs, man. Things could have changed. It's a game of inches. Al Pacino had that famous line in Any Given Sunday. Yep. 1 inch here, you're too late. 1 inch there, you're too soon. Things happen. I get that. But there were mistakes tonight that were just self-inflicted that we see on a continual basis that is the only reason the Chiefs are even on the road this year in the playoffs. A couple mistakes here and there this season that could have been avoided. The Chiefs are hosting the AFC Championship. So, yes, we're happy. I'm happy. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like everything's hunky-dory and it's all milk and honey up in this bitch. We got a team here, guys, that is very flawed in a lot of areas, and it's a lot of self-inflicted flaws. Yeah. It's not that they're not good enough. Clearly they're good enough. They've been dealing with these mistakes all year, and they're in the AFC Championship. I mean, you don't see 3 seeds making it this far very often. It's usually the top 2 seeds that make it to the AFC Championship, more times than not. So I am happy. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be enjoying this whole week, but we have to have real discussions about these things, guys. And you better believe that the team is going to be having real discussions. They're going to be looking on the film, not like, damn, look at that play. That was awesome. No, they're going to be looking like, we got to get better at that. We got to execute better at that. I got to call a better play on this situation. I got to execute this better from the top down. Why wouldn't we feel the same and react to the same things, guys? Like we've had Trevor and I on the Spoken Podcast, our show on Saturdays at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time on the Starcade Media Networks. We had Pat Sr. on our show about 2 years ago. And he said it himself, that when it comes to his son, Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback of the Chiefs, losing fuels that man. Losing hurts him more than winning feels good. So trust me when I say, guys, the things that stick to him are the things that they don't get done. So me as a fan, somebody that enjoyed or had to enjoy just 10-win seasons and the team scraping by and getting the postseason growing up, is now wanting to hold on to what we have now as long as we possibly can. And I want to see this team win another Super Bowl, man. And taking away a few of these mistakes here and there is what's going to be the result of them getting there. Book, I want to finish this here, man. I'm not asking for a prediction because I know that that's not what we're doing right now. It's the playoffs. Obviously, the Chiefs need to win or they're gone. But going into this matchup with the Ravens, I'm assuming you watched at least some of that Ravens-Texans game.
Oh, definitely.
How do you feel about this matchup, man? What are your takeaways? Just your initial thoughts on Chiefs and Ravens. We haven't seen these two teams play since the 2021 regular season. A lot has changed for both teams in that span. What are your initial thoughts of the Chiefs going up to Baltimore and taking on that juggernaut Ravens team?
Well, I think it's going to definitely be a hard game for us to win. But I think we definitely have a chance of doing just that. I think we're definitely progressing in the right direction at the right time. The fact that we're still in this, in the playoffs says a lot for us. It don't matter how we get in there. We're still here. So the fact that we're going to go in next week, knowing that these guys hadn't had a game in 3 weeks, we can't go in making those stupid mistakes. And I think if we just go in and stick to our guns and do what we did offensively the first half and throughout the game, stick to the run game, throw when you have to. Our defense definitely got to tighten shit up. We definitely can't show up against Lamar like that. He's going to pick us apart and then just run around
Edwards.
us. You know what I'm saying? So D-line, that game got to step up tremendously within this week. If we don't do that, it's going to be a tough day at the office for them boys, I promise you. But we have all the tools that we need to get the job done. Like you said, if we don't hurt ourselves, I think we win.
Well, and I tend to agree with you. That's my initial thought as well. Something I'm going to be paying very close attention to is obviously the health of Joe Thuney. Obviously, we know that the Chiefs are going to absolutely have to have him in the middle of that offensive line. That man has been nothing but solid, nothing but great, quite frankly. I think that guy is embarking on a potential Hall of Fame career. But I'm also going to be paying attention on the other side of things with Willie Gay Jr. We know that coming into this game against the Bills, he was questionable with a neck injury. We don't know really how that occurred. It could have been during practice, could have been last week against the Dolphins. We don't know. All we do know is that Willie Gay had to leave this game, I believe, in the second quarter, and he never returned. Let's say, though, unfortunately, the Chiefs don't have Willie Gay next week. I'm expecting Willie Gay will play, but if he doesn't, we know that he's usually the spy. And the Chiefs just got dominated by Josh Allen on the ground, James Cook on the ground. We know Lamar Jackson is that dude. We know that Gus Edwards is that dude. We know that running game as a whole in Baltimore. They a bunch of dudes. What solution do you think the Chiefs would have in that situation if number 50 is out of the game? Do you feel the same confidence, or do you feel like, man, Willie Gay's got to be out there or the Chiefs might be toast?
I definitely think Willie Gay needs to be out there. I'm hoping that it's not a serious injury, something that he can really just, get some treatment on and put a little extra padding on and get back out there for next week. But if he's not out there, he's definitely going to be missed. You know what I'm saying? He does a great job for us and just running our defense from being in the middle. He'll be definitely missed. That's going to be the main thing, just to see if he's going to be able to play. But if he's out there, I feel good about our chances. He really is a leader for our defense. A lot of people respect him, so
I agree.
We definitely do.
I know. We're going to have a whole week to talk about this, to bask on it, to really break down this matchup, and trust me, I definitely will be. You guys know me on Twitter at Lance the Spoken. I will give you guys my full-fledged opinions, authentic opinions, but we had to come on here and jump up on this show with Book, with Trev, with all of you guys to enjoy the hell out of this because, again, there were so many damn doubters, and if you missed it at the beginning of the show, I highly recommend that you go back at the beginning, play it back, because there's a 4-minute video that I put together that lets you all know that there's plenty of people that doubted this team. I may have my worries, I may have my concerns, but there are people that were throwing dirt on this team coming into this matchup with the Bills, and the Chiefs got that W, man. It may have been ugly, may have been stressful, unnecessarily stressful, but at the end of the game, the Chiefs took care of business, and they advanced to their 6th consecutive AFC championship. It's going to be weird. It's going to be weird. The AFC Championship for the first time since 2017 is going to be played in another place, not named Arrowhead Stadium. But I'm here for it, man. I'm excited for this because I think this is something, just to kind of just look at this from a grand scheme of things from 10,000 feet up, the legacy builder that this would be for Patrick Mahomes. Knowing that he would have to go on the road multiple times to get back to the Super Bowl for the 4th time in 5 years, to be able to give him that, because everybody always talks about, he's always had these home games, as if earning that is some sort of knock on him to get the 1 or 2 seed every single year and end up with that place, the final game of the AFC Championship at your house, as if that's some knock. But I love the fact that he's now going to kill another narrative, that he's going to go into someone other's house and potentially hold that Lamar Hunt trophy in another place, in a hostile environment. And trust me when I say that those Ravens fans, they know how to bring it. Bills Mafia brought it. They were throwing snowballs like some bitches. But those Ravens fans up there can bring it too. It's loud, it's raucous. They love winning football up there. They love Lamar Jackson. They love this team. They're a hard-hitting, grueling team. That's going to be a very hard-fought victory for the Chiefs next week. And I think they can get it done. They just got to stay out of their own way, man. But this has been a fun show. It's been an absolute blast. I hope you guys are having fun, man. I hope that you guys enjoyed this like I did. Book's back with us. Trevor's with us. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. And we will be here in 1 week's time. Regardless of what takes place, hopefully it will be a W. Hopefully the Chiefs will be advancing to their 4th Super Bowl in 5 years. Regardless, though, you guys know where to find us. It's the Chattin' of the Chiefs postgame show. I'm your host, Lance Twidell. That's Trevor Twidell. That's Vaughn freaking Booker. And until next week, and make sure and join us, guys. Next Saturday, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, Trevor and I will be breaking down the conference championship predictions of what we think is going to happen. We're going to give you guys a full slate of that. We also have a segment called Speak It, where we give you guys the full segment where you guys can talk to us, give your questions, takes, concerns, whatever it is y'all want to talk about. You can drop it on our line, hit us up on YouTube at the Spoken Podcast, and join the chat. But in the meantime, grab a stogie, grab a drink, hang out with your lady, your man, whatever you guys got. Enjoy your Sunday night because the Chiefs are going back to the AFC Championship. You guys have yourself an awesome week.
Later.
All right.